Hi, beautiful souls. Okay, I'm just checking in on Facebook because it says we're live. So let's have a look see. Yay! And so we are. Fantastic. So you will notice I am here sat on my own at the moment. Larkin hopefully will be catching up and joining us shortly. And we will be together again for another Monday live streaming of Angels in Action. So as a pair, we can work autonomously as well. So I'm here by myself, having literally walked through the front door of my house. I was ready to leave work. And I guess some would class it as disaster, maybe not so severely as that, bad as that, but as part of my job, for those of you that don't know, I work during the daytime for a lovely cafe bistro bar. I started the job there 2 and a bit years ago now. It was originally a plant shop where we sold all these amazing plants and bits and pieces, and we had a coffee shop inside. And then as part of that, the coffee shop then progressed to being more busy than the plant side. So the bosses, the owners, decided to convert the plant shop into a cafe bistro bar. So I went from being shop assistant to bartender overnight, more or less. And I love it, absolutely love it. And it's just an amazing job. And they're amazing bosses to work for. And it is just so much fun. And I get to interact with people all the time because my previous job in the NHS meant I was constantly interacting with people, and I loved that as well. So it's just a different sort of scenario, really. So anyway, I was about to leave. Hi, Deborah, lovely to see you. Thanks for popping on. So I was about to leave work at 4 o'clock when unfortunately we discovered the toilets had flooded. So I've just spent the last hour and a bit mopping floors, doing a delightful job of cleaning up toilets. And yeah, so my boss has come in, taken over, and he's now waiting for the professionals to come and do the job properly. So hopefully by the time I get back to work tomorrow morning, we'll have fully functioning toilets again. But these things happen. And it was interesting. I was thinking about that on the way home because quite often we can link things that go on around us in our environment to what is actually going on for us as individuals, I guess. And I remember many years ago, don't even know where I read it or if I was told it, but it sort of stuck with me that when we are in our space and things are starting to go wrong around us, look at what is taking place. And I always remember learning, and we know this, water is connected to emotions. So I was thinking, why is that? Why is this? Why are the toilets leaking so badly as they are? And it's just one of it's just one of those things. It happens. You know, it's not always necessarily to do with you as an individual, but it is worth, I feel, just taking a note of perhaps, is there a connection? Is something happening that's going on in your life? And I have had recently to deal with a lot of emotional content. You know, I come on here and I'm always looking happy and smiley, and I am 99.9% of the time happy and smiley. That is who I am. It's the way I live my life, I guess. But yeah, it's interesting that all this has happened, and there has been a lot of emotional release going on for me recently as well, with what's been taking place within the family situations. So so I guess really look at what's coming up for me around this is just looking at what is taking place in your environment, you know, and just be aware of these little nuances. You know, we talk about the angels and how the angels bring us messages and how we can find messages in things that we see around us or hear, people we interact with. And it's just having that conscious awareness, I guess, of what's taking place. So I was really aware that, and not just for me as well, but for the people that I work for, there's a lot of emotional stuff going on around them as well. So it's interesting how it can become reflected in our everyday life. And we can choose to take note, or we can choose to just accept that it is what it is. That's something that's happened, and carry on without really just taking a step back, taking a moment and thinking, actually, has that got some meaning for me? Is there something within that scenario that I can reflect upon and think, yeah, let me just work with that. What can I then do to do that? So I'm sort of taking note and thinking, whilst this is not my business, whilst it's not my property, whilst it's not just affecting us, it's affecting the businesses next door as well. Is there something within this scenario where all this water is being released? And do I need to just do a little bit more work on releasing any emotional stuff that I've got going on at the moment? And I am going to sit after this, when I finish here with you guys this evening, I am going to sit and think about that and do a little bit of self-reflection, perhaps a little bit of journaling, perhaps a little bit of, I don't know, crystal work, maybe, and just see what comes up. Because it's always worth, I feel, just taking a note of your environment and what's going on. Or even if you're with somebody, I can remember when my eldest son was living at home, he would quite often be a barometer for me and what was going on for me. Certain things that he might say or do would, as they say, push my buttons. But rather than fall into the trap of going, okay, you've pushed my button, now I need to react to that, and then it all becomes confrontational or whatever, I would take a step back and think, hang on a minute, that's triggered something within me. What is it triggering? Why is it triggering that? And what do I need to look at to find a reflection of what's taking place? So quite often he would act like a mirror for me, and I would just be able to then take a step back and go, whatever he said and done is really nothing to get into the drama about, but it's just bringing an awareness into my reality that something needs to be checked out and looked at. So that's what I think. It's worth looking at what's going on around you, and it might not be with somebody within your own close social circle or within your own family. It could be, well, for me, it could be a customer that walks through the door. It could be a phone call that you take, and you can just look at it and think, well, why did that trigger that thought or that feeling in me? And what do I need to do to... Hi, Joanne. Thank you for popping in. Lovely to see you. I just explained at the beginning, I'm waiting on Larkin. I'm hoping she won't be too long, but she's a bit tied up with some issues at home. So we're just going with the flow at the moment. I'm just sharing a few of my own personal thoughts around how we can be triggered by things in our environment, people around us, that sort of thing. So it's been an interesting reflective drive home. Traffic was horrendous, so plenty of time to do that, because I just sat in the traffic and sort of thinking about what's been taking place. So one of the ways that I like to sit and reflect and work with the angels, because again, angels in action, so we're talking about the angelic realms, I like to just sit with some quiet music, some soothing music playing in the background, just taking me into that nice sort of tranquil space, if you like, and then really just allowing any thoughts just to flow really, and just see what's coming up for me, and just being guided by my intuition as to what it is that I need to do next. So for example, last night I was just sat and decided to gather and make a crystal grid with my crystal skulls and sit with them. Yeah, me too. I love my angels too. So I just sat with those and just really just absorbed their energy. Now, nothing specific came through in that moment, but I just felt this nice gentle release of energy. And I do feel sometimes that when we work with our angels, when we're sat there in those moments of contemplation, we almost, and I know I used to do it years ago when I first started, it was almost like I expected to have this instant aha moment, or this instant sense of something happening or feeling or whatever. And sometimes it can just be that complete sense of nothingness is all that you need to just be able to get into that space and just feel comfortable within yourself, just comfortable within allowing the experience of nothing to take place, because we do get so busy. I'm talking of busy. The tickle in my nose. I'm getting a right tickle here. Yeah, we get so busy in our day-to-day lives, and we're so busy in our heads, we're so busy with our thought processes, that to actually experience that sense of nothingness, that sense of quiet, of void almost, as I call it, can be a bit disconcerting, because we quite often feel we should be expecting something. It is Joanne. Yeah, absolutely. You're so, yeah, just, it is thinking of nothing. And I've often had people say to me, but I can't think of nothing. And how can you not have a thought? It takes practice, I feel. Years and years ago, in my 20s and 30s, I had a very busy head. I was constantly overthinking things, constantly projecting, and really not in quite a stressful place at times. And it took an illness to bring me out of that space and to really start looking at where I was with my stress levels. But then I got into, after my husband passed away, I got into my spiritual practices. I got into working with the angels, and I spent 18 months being mentored by a beautiful lady and her husband, who used to be a Brahmin priest. And he would just say, nothingness is a thought. But he taught me little ways of going into that nothingness, of not having a thought. And it does happen where you can sit and not have a thought. And sometimes I can do it for quite a few minutes. Sometimes I can only do it for a few seconds. But it can be a place where you can achieve that thinking of nothing sort of process. And it's hard to explain how it feels and what it's about. But yeah, it can be done with practice and mindfulness. So I've waffled on for a little bit. I've got some lovely people watching. So welcome to everybody that's watching. Welcome to Joanna and Deborah for your lovely comments. So yeah. So just how do you achieve your moments of peacefulness, Joanne? If you'd like to share, or if you have any questions, if there's anything you'd like to ask. And see, as hopefully Larkin will join us shortly. If not, we will just continue. Otherwise, One of the other things I feel drawn to, I guess, talking about as well is at the moment there's so much going on within my own personal life, but also as well there's so much going on in and around the world where people are suffering, traumas taking place. You know, we seem to be focused on things that aren't pleasant happening as well. And I just want to remind you that we can find those moments of peace even when life feels challenging and difficult. And yesterday I was inspired to write a little healing message into a few of my groups and share. So just having a moment of bringing healing in for yourself. That's beautiful. Yeah, I like the way you say you detach from drama. I do as well, and it's that moment of making that choice, isn't it, of not having to be involved in the drama that's going around from you, and just watching and allowing things to be as well. I find it's very soothing, because you realize that you're not, for me anyway, I realize that I'm not in that, where I'm not in somebody else's drama or even in my own drama. I'm very detached and but also very aware and very compassionate of what's taking place and what's going on. But that's not to say that there aren't moments when I've got pulled into my own little drama, as happened last week. But then I realized that within that moment of being pulled into my own drama, of being pulled into overthinking what was going on and taking place, it actually gave me the opportunity to bring up an awareness that there was something in a subconscious belief that I'd held for probably almost 30 years and not realized until it popped up when I was going through this process last week. So sometimes I feel detaching from drama for me is a must. It's something that I practice as best I can daily. I like to be the observer, and Larkin, if she was here, would be saying, be the observer of your thoughts. And I allowed myself in a way to be caught up in this self-internalization last week, whereby it then allowed this process to come up, where it allowed me to have this awareness of what was taking place and to work on the healing of that situation and that belief. So I think sometimes, even though we can stay detached from drama, we can also have moments where we move into it, even if it's just for a fraction of a moment, just so that it can allow some release as well. And Deborah's sharing with us, sitting within a void of nothingness is a unique opportunity to expand beyond your current comprehension of understanding. Allow the portals of inspiration to enlighten that beautiful space within. That's beautiful, Deborah. I couldn't have said that better myself. That's absolutely, yeah, it does. It encompasses everything, doesn't it? Because even when you're in that void of nothingness, you're still having an experience. And within that experience, you're allowing yourself to be in flow, to just be with the energy of what's taking place for you. And one of the things that's taking place for me at the moment is the angels are coming through and helping me to design an oracle deck. But that aside, it's the lovely messages that are just coming through with them as well. And I was particularly drawn to begin with to work with Archangel Michael, and I just love that, the energy of Michael and how he brings in this wonderful guidance and inspiration. And I'm just seeing if I can just find, I don't have them to load up, I don't think, but I'm just seeing if I can find one to share with you. I'll just pick one at random and see what beautiful message this year. Yeah, so the one that I've just freely selected is Michael's messages. As a messenger from God, the divine, I am your protector and guide. My strength as God's warrior angel is to bring to you the strength needed at this time to overcome the obstacles and doubts that you hold in your heart and mind. Take a breath, dear one. Know you are safe and trust in the sanctity of all that will be well and right. And I love how we can just randomly select a message and it has some deep resonance for us, and that certainly has a deep resonance for me. So I do love that we've shared that. So Joanne is saying, I find when the angels and ascended masters draw very close, they help bring up things that need healing, as their light highlights the negative things that we hold on to. Yeah, absolutely. I truly believe in that and truly, agree with that too. And this is reflective of what happened for me last week. I could have not stepped into that process of being caught up in the drama of what was taking place. And it was actually a situation that involved somebody else. Yes, it impacted on me, but not in the way that I then went into this place of overthinking it. But within that overthinking, then it brought up this subconscious belief. And I'm like, oh, that's just highlighted why I've moved into this space now. And I really need to just look at working with this and releasing it and doing the healing that needs to take place. And something I wrote yesterday was about, in the darkness there is always light, and that the healing energy and the healing light that we can put into the darkness, a speck at a time, can clear the darkness and bring us back into the light again. And I think this is all very much about how the angels work with us to bring up these little moments where we can then place our focus, our energy, and just really work with that process. So I'm not sure if Larkin is going to arrive to keep us company. And as I say, I certainly came in with no plan in my head either about what to talk about or what to share with you because of having the plumbing issue at work. So I literally walked through the front door and then came straight on. So it's all a bit sort of just go with the flow really and be in action with this. So if there's anybody who's watching who would like a card drawn for them, I will step into the energy of perhaps doing some little mini readings for people. Oh, thank you, Joanne. Yeah, I think we can hang on to so much drama, can't we, in our lives, and we can just get so caught up in it that we can forget how easy it is to just let go. I mean, I worked, I went and did a weekend retreat and worked with James Van Praagh a very famous medium in the States, and Tony Stockwell, who's a very famous medium in the UK. And they collaborate together over the years, and the two of them came together quite a few years ago now here in the UK, and I was very blessed to be able to go and spend the weekend working with them, with a group of other people, and it was just amazing. It was such a lovely connection to have. But one of the things that James said to me when I was one of the few, I think there was about half a dozen of us over the weekend in total that took turns, got up and gave a demonstration, and at the end of it we got feedback from them. And in conversation with James afterwards, one of the things he said to me was, what other people think of you is none of your business. And that stuck with me, and it has stayed with me ever since. And I'm like, that really is so true, because when we think like that, when we look at whatever's taking place around us, it is none of our business. And when I do that, I find I'm able to very easily and very quickly detach from the situation and just be. That's not to say that I don't hold compassion and empathy and can sympathize or even offer, guidance and support, but I can just realize that it's nothing to do with me. And yeah, it is something that is really working for me. So, Joanne, I will draw a couple of cards for you, and then I may have to go off because I've got a poorly family member in A&E at the moment, and if they call, I might need to just leave and take the call. So I'll just see what's occurring. So I've drawn from, just going to use the Divine Masters cards, a new deck out by Kyle Gray, which are really nice. And Deborah, I will come to you shortly, Angel. Right, there's some blank ones in there. Thank you, Joanne. Yeah, I have a poorly grandchild who's been back and forth to the doctors, and it's just one of those ongoing moments. So, and then I have drawn. So the cards that I've drawn for you, as I say, are from Kyle Gray's Divine Masters deck, and you have Shiva. And then these are the Importance of Being You oracle cards, and you have Messages, Cyclical, and Fairy Dreams and Wishes. And I'm very much drawn to saying, first of all, that my feeling for you, Joanne, is that you are very grounded in your spiritual way of being. You have a very grounding, earthing energy about you. You feel very rooted to me. So it feels like you're able to really make your divine connections in quite an easy way, is what I'm sensing, because you are very rooted, you're very grounded. There's that phrase, isn't there, away with the fairies? And I feel that's because if we don't keep ourselves grounded and rooted to earth, then we are very much away with the fairies sometimes, and we can be very sort of all over the place, very scattered. So I feel that you work very much from this space of, you make sure you keep your physical body rooted and earthed, you keep your spirituality rooted and earthed as well, but that helps you strengthen your connection when you're working as well. With Shiva, I feel very much, and Shiva's on the card saying end of cycle, debts are paid, choose your destiny. I do very much feel that you are very aware of which direction you're going in, but you are going through a process of, at the moment, where perhaps something that you thought you wanted to follow, a path you wanted to take, hasn't gone in the direction that you felt it was. And this is that you're at a point now, almost like a feeling of a crossroads, where it's time now to just reassess what's going on for you and really look at, is that not working out or going in the right direction for you? Because it's really not what you're meant to be doing. There feels to be like there's something coming up around you, and it feels like it may be with the cyclical card. It feels very much like this, may, because with the purple around it, it feels very spiritual. It feels like this is something that perhaps you were very much drawn to doing once, perhaps either didn't take it up or did it and it didn't quite go to plan, or it didn't flow in a way you wanted it to, so you left it behind. You moved away from it, and it feels like it may well be coming back round, and it's coming back round now, because now is the time. Now you're ready. Now everything that you've had happen to you in the past, all the releasing that you've done, because I'm looking at Shiva again, I'm very much, my hands are here. I'm feeling very grateful. I'm feeling lots of gratitude for what's taking place, but I feel like I've let go of a lot of things, and it's now time for you to really just be open to receiving this new direction. But it's a new direction with something that you would have done previously but didn't. So it's like it's coming round again, and it's time now. The message card to me is very much saying you are very open to receiving messages, but there's also something, there's this feeling of, there's a message that you need to be giving. I want to, it's like my mouth is going 19 to the dozen, and this message has to be given. It's like, it's important. It's part of the work that you're doing. It's part of where you are now, and it really needs to be spoken. This is your truth. This is yours, and yours to share. And it's now time to share it. So whatever all of this is, it's like this, I'm being given to give to you this great big box. It's wrapped in the most beautiful glowing silver paper. It's got a huge great big gold bow on it, and it's like, this is it. This is your time. It's time for you now to move forward and really start speaking this truth, start sharing this message. It's about you giving. Lovely, beautiful. But these are messages, these words are words that you're going to share, and people need to hear them. So whether that's connected to your teaching or whether it's connected to your spiritual work as well, but it's definitely this energy of, I need to be speaking this now, speaking my truth. So thank you very much. I know that resonated for you, because you've said 100%. So thank you. And yeah, Deborah. Also with Shiva, there's one last thing I want to say, because this has just come in, and there's something about a trip to India. So I don't know if that resonates for you, but be open to receiving is what I would like to say. Thank you, Deborah. Yeah, thank you. And the healing gratefully received. All right, perfect. Lovely. So then that will all link in, and yeah, really start to resonate for you. And good luck. All the best on that lovely new journey, because it feels amazing, this whole big gold silver package and present. And it's just like, but it's more than just excitement, Joanne. It's more like anticipation, but greatness is the word that's coming out as well. So yeah, hopefully. So I look forward to perhaps learning some more about it from you, if you continue to follow us. So at this point, Larkin would probably have popped in and said, don't forget to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, because the YouTube channel is a new venture for us. So, Deborah, I'm just pulling some cards for you. One's just jumped out, but I just feel drawn to gathering another one for you. And the one that's just jumped out is absolutely perfect for you, Deborah. Good, yes. Sometimes it is all about a feeling. Sometimes we just can't put into words what it is that we want to express. We have to just feel it. So right, so who have we got here? Okay. So Deborah, the first card that jumped out for you, Deborah, and you'll not be surprised, Mother Mary. And it says miraculous encounter, divine expression, divine experiences. Do not be afraid of being powerful. And then I'm not sure how to pronounce him, but I think it's Joel Cull, and his divine mission, enlightened action, make choices from the heart. And then with the importance of being you, you've got the fairy card. You have the violet angel. Love this one. I painted this one for a friend. So the original artwork for this angel sits in my friend's home in Canada, and I absolutely love it. And then submission. And I do feel very much, I know you made a comment earlier about how you don't, where is it? Let's see. You're often unaware of what energetic frequencies you're experiencing. Part of that, what I want to say to you there is when you're unaware, that's fine. It's okay to be unaware. When you try to attach yourself to becoming aware of what it is or who it is you are sharing your experience with in that moment of energy, you can put up a block. And I know that you are somebody who's very aware of these things, and I don't want to sound like I'm sort of, what's the phrase, teaching grandmother to suck eggs. But it is a reminder to you that when you're not aware, you don't have to be aware. It's about the faith and trust. And for me, Mother Mary is about coming in with that faith and trust. With the submission card, I don't see that as submission as in giving up or giving in. I see it and feel it as being something is that just allow yourself to be, just submit to what the energies are that are flowing around you, and just trust that you are making those connections. You share a lot of Mother Mary's work, Deborah, so I do feel that your divine connection is with Mother Mary. That's the energy. And even if you're not aware of it, like you're aware of you and I talking, you're aware of it because you often talk about Mother Mary. You often are drawn to the cards or the work that she's expressing, and you share that. And for me, that in itself is a way of knowing, if you like, that's who you're connecting to and who you're connecting with. So as an example, when I'm doing creating the oracle cards, I start off and the messages start to flow, and it's like, who is this? I don't get a sense of a difference in the feeling of the energy. There's a slight difference perhaps in the way the message flows or the words that come through. But then when when I'm guided, I just ask, who do I feel the strongest connection to? And it'll just come as a word in my mind. And I feel that's perhaps where you need to be, is just go with that energy flow. Just trust that you're connecting. You know you've got the connection, and just allow perhaps that little thought to be, and who is this? And go with that first thought. Enjoy, Joanne. Thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure to connect with you. So just enjoy what's taking place and those moments. And with the violet card, I feel very much, I want to connect you to amethyst with this. So I feel perhaps a connection to working with amethyst crystals will help you to strengthen that spiritual connection. So spend some time in meditation with amethyst and just work with the amethyst crystal. At the beginning, I get a sense of you may not feel so much, but just trust that there's a process going on, that there's something taking place, and just really pulling yourself back into taking action. And that might only be a small action each day of a 5-minute meditation, or sitting with the amethyst crystal, or drawing a card just for yourself. All these little things become an energetic flow that combine and join together. I do feel with the fairy card that you've been seeing fairies around you, maybe little sparkles or glimmers of light. So there's a feeling of an element of, and obviously I do understand what's taken place for you recently as well. But there's this element of a feeling of, I want to bring a little bit more joy into life. I just need this I feel a little bit as if I'm on a plateau at the moment, and I just feel that I need to uplift this sense of joy. So find little things that perhaps start to bring you joy, that start to help you feel a little bit more, I want to say, all work and no play as well. So there's something about finding something that you do for you that makes you feel joyful. Now, whether that be drawing, painting, colouring books. I know you do a lot of creative writing, and I know that is an expression for you, but this feels to be like it needs to be something a little bit more almost childlike, if you like, in the way that you enjoy it. Sorry, I'm getting a sense of a skipping rope and just doing some skipping. I'm not saying that's what you should do, but it's just that feeling of, let's do a little bit something a bit more childlike, a bit more fun. I don't know, play Ludo, do something that's really what children play, Snap with someone. It's about finding a connection somewhere with somebody that you can do and have a little bit of fun time, a little bit of downtime, because I do feel that there are times that you're not really, it's either spiritual work or work. Hi Chrissy, lovely to see you, thanks for popping in. It's either spiritual work or work, and there doesn't seem to be anything for Deborah at the moment. So I just feel like there's this need to find something that's for you. Now, whether that means taking up a new hobby, doing something creative outside of your creative writing, a singing class, I don't know. These are all the little things that are dropping in, but it's like they're just wanting you to really look at finding some downtime for you, because that's what's needed at the moment to lighten your energy and really enable you to step up. It's almost a feeling of, with the Mother Mary card, as I'm looking at her, it's like she's there nurturing you. Hi Phil, thanks for popping in, lovely to see you. It's almost this feeling of that she's nurturing you, but you really need to trust that you do what you do, and just know that it's what you're meant to be doing. So I hope that resonated for you a little bit, and thank you very much. And well, I don't think Larkin's going to make it tonight. I do have to pop off now because that phone call that I mentioned is just coming through. So I'm going to love you and leave you all with that. I'm really sorry that tonight's has been such a short one, and but we've been here, we've had we've had a little conversation, I've shared, and yeah, managed to fit in a couple of readings for you. So thank you everybody for popping in. I'm really sorry that I do have to go, but I do need to deal with this. And take care. Have a wonderful evening or day wherever you are in the world, and we'll see you all next Monday. Take care. Lots of love. Bye.